Let's get into Jeffrey Dahmer. You know this was fake, right? Nothing but a TV show, movie. They, they made a movie about it too. All right, let's go.
I don't know, I went to great lengths. He is pure evil, but you'd never know it by looking at him. But when you hear him, that's another story. His killing field was Milwaukee, and he got away with murder for more than a decade. But how could any of this happen? For the first time ever, Nancy Glass is here, inside the world of Jeffrey Dahmer. Bill, when I sat down opposite Jeffrey Dahmer for this interview, I wondered what he would tell me, how hard it would be to get him to discuss his horrific crimes. What I found was that he was very forthcoming. He volunteered details that may be difficult to hear.
Wow.
I began by asking what he wanted.
Wow. So the news want to interview a serial killer. That's crazy. So they wanted to interview a serial killer. So they went to the jail and had an interview. Now, if you believe dumb shit like this, man, I can't help it. What the fuck they wanted to interview him for? He's a fucking serial killer. But you know it's all propaganda, fear tactics, all that shit. Let's go.
The men he picked up. I had these obsessive desires and thoughts wanting to control them, to, I don't know how to put it, possess them permanently. And that's why you killed them? Right. Not because I was angry with them, not because I hated them, but because I wanted to keep them with me. And as my obsession grew...
Now, what's the problem with the interview? He's not even handcuffed. So, okay, man. You know this guy's a crisis actor. I bought the Jeffrey Dahmer bullshit when it happened at the time. But since I woke up, I could see this is 100% bullshit.
I was saving body parts such as skulls and skeletons. Jeffrey Dahmer is recalling his monstrous past. Almost 2 years ago, in this little apartment in Milwaukee, police discovered the grisly remnants of one of the most horrible crime sprees in American history. Jeffrey Dahmer, an unassuming chocolate factory worker, would eventually confess that he had seduced, murdered, and dismembered 17 young men. He even ate some of his victims' body parts. He instantly became the center of worldwide media attention, a serial killer unmasked. There were protests and press conferences in Milwaukee as people tried to understand how this could have happened in their midst. How did Jeffrey Dahmer get away with murder after murder for 13 years?
13.
How did a
So you gotta get that 13 in.
boy born into a hard-working middle-class family turn into the worst kind of monster imaginable? In this exclusive interview, we put those questions to Jeffrey Dahmer himself.
Wow.
We met with him at the maximum security prison where he is serving his sentence of 999 years. For the first
999 years. 999, that's a 666. Upside down. Let's go.
time, he talks about his crimes and gives us a chilling look inside the mind of a serial killer. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. When you depersonalize another person and view them as just an object for pleasure instead of a living, breathing human being, it seems to make it easier to do things you shouldn't do. The reason why Jeffrey Dahmer was able to get away with his crimes was because of just what you are seeing here. Jeffrey Dahmer is intelligent and articulate. That is what makes him so frightening. But if you listen carefully to his words throughout this interview, you realize it is a thin disguise. You do sound, though, like the kind of person who could have said to himself, "This is wrong. I must stop." I always knew that it was wrong, but after the first killing was not planned. I was coming back from the shopping mall back in '78. I had fantasies about picking up a hitchhiker and taking him back to the house and having complete control and dominance over him. The hitchhiker's name was Stephen Hicks. He was just 18. Jeffrey Dahmer took him to his parents' house.
18 for that 9.
There he strangled him with a barbell. He dismembered the body and hid it in a drain pipe. It was Jeffrey Dahmer who gave those details to the police in his confession. No one had a clue as to what was happening for over a decade. During that time, Jeffrey Dahmer joined the army and was sent to Germany. He was eventually discharged for a drinking problem and returned to Ohio.
Look, they got a picture of him knocked out drunk. Yo, this shit is funny. Let's go.
No. 9 years after Stephen Hicks' murder, the killing began again. What happened to you in the 9 years
There go that number 9.
in between that you were able to stop, that you were able to control yourself? It just wasn't an opportunity to fully express what I wanted to do. There was just not the physical opportunity to do it then. And I started, when I moved to Milwaukee in '81,
There go that number 9 again.
I started reading pornography, going to the bookstores. Eventually that led to frequenting the gay bars. And then one time I brought this young man back to the hotel room, the Ambassador Hotel.
The Ambassador Hotel. Okay, let's go. Come on, man.
Was just planning on drugging him and spending the night with him. Had no intention of hurting him. When I woke up in the morning, he had a broken rib here. Was heavily bruised. Apparently I had beaten him to death with my fists.
Wow.
And you have no memory? I have no.
Wow. He beat him to death with his fists. What? Get the fuck out of here. So he must have been bloody like a motherfucker. Oh, he cleaned himself up, I guess. Get the fuck out of there.
Memory of it. But that's what started the whole spree.
Remember, they just went straight to the hotel, so he had no change of clothes. So, you know what I'm saying? He had no change of clothes. It's not like it was a plan. He went to the gay bar, got him. Get the fuck out of here with this bullshit.
Over again. Dahmer says he snuck the corpse of his victim, Stephen Toomey, out of his hotel room in a suitcase. Then he took it.
Wow. He had a suitcase. And they just went to the hotel for one. Alright. He had a suitcase. He had change of clothes. I assume he had change of clothes because he wouldn't have been bloody like a motherfucker. Coming out the fucking hotel, right? You just met the motherfucker. And you had a suitcase? Bullshit.
To his grandmother's house, where he cut up the body and put it in plastic garbage bags. When you killed these men, afterwards, were you repulsed? Were you upset? No, at the time, it was almost addictive. It was almost
Wow.
a surge
Fucking crisis actor.
of energy. I wouldn't have to worry about any of their needs or anything. I just had complete control of the situation. But Jeffrey Dahmer was out of control. The urge to kill had overpowered him. As police later learned, he wasn't satisfied with his victim's death. He wanted more. Why did you photograph them? It was my way of remembering their appearance, their physical.
See, the reason they use him to say them shits, they want you to think that's what serial killers do. That's it. Period. Nothing but a crisis actor. But who the fuck will have a fucking interview on TV if they're a serial killer? Come on now. All the motherfuckers is fake at they show. What the fuck is you talking about your shit on TV? Come on now. Come on, man. Come on now. Use your brain.
Beauty.
This is all fear. This is all fear at the time. Fear, serial killers. Where they at now? So no more serial killers all the time. Man, get out of here.
I also wanted to
There's
keep.
no more serial killers. See how they do it? It used to be serial killers. Then there's school shooters. That's not happening no more because of coronavirus. So school ain't gonna be out. No more school shooters because they couldn't get that passed. They was trying to ban guns, so they said, fuck that. We're gonna get them with this virus. All right, this is how we're gonna lock us down. We had you on fear with the serial killers. Lock your doors at night. The Son of Sam is out. They always tried to lock us down. Know what I'm saying? They just started with the serial killers. Go in the house, there's a serial killer on the prowl. He's looking for young women with blonde hair. Like, you know what I'm saying? They always try to lock us down. But they got the virus and it's working. It's working. It's working. You know why it's working? Because people don't have their own brain. You know what I'm saying? They tell you, like, I'm in New York, we supposed to be reopening. Now everybody's outside. It was nobody fuck outside. Now everybody outside. Watch when they tell everybody go back in. Watch them go back in. See, they got you. See, my ass ain't going back in. All right? The fuck out of here. I never went out. I mean, I never went out. I never went in. I always was out. Fuck out of here. They had a. It was a fucking ghost town. Like, get out of here. All right, let's go. Let's get back to this bullshit.
If I couldn't keep them there with me whole, at least I felt that I could keep their skeletons. And
And
I
what?
even went so far as planning on setting up an altar with the 10 different skulls and skeletons. And what was the purpose of the altar going to be? As a sort of memorial. A point where I could, I don't know, it's so bizarre and strange, it's hard to describe. A place where I could collect my thoughts and feed my obsession. When the bodies were still in your apartment, there was no time when you would see them and say, this is grotesque, what have I done? There were times, but the compulsive obsession with doing what I was doing overpowered any feelings of revulsion.
So you hear this guy, he telling you what he was feeling and everything. This was the fear tactic back then with the serial killer. The serial killer could be the nice guy next door. You know what I'm saying? That was the fear tactic. But it didn't work. So they came, well, it's after the serial killer. That's when the terrorists, the terrorists started, right? After the serial killers. Then the terrorists, all of a sudden it was terrorists. Then it was the mass shootings. All that fear tactic bullshit. You know what I mean? Get out of here. Get out of here. You ain't fooling nobody. Nobody. Oh, y'all are. Y'all just ain't fooling me.
This man, with a quiet, almost shy demeanor, became a master manipulator who was able to lure strangers he met at gay bars to his apartment. He was even able to con the police into returning a 14-year-old boy to him after neighbors called 911 upset that the child was in the street, naked and bleeding. Dahmer convinced the police that he and the boy were simply having a lover's quarrel.
The intoxicated
Look, they got the
boyfriend of another
they got
boyfriend.
the 911 call.
Well, how old was this child?
It wasn't a child, it was an adult.
After the police left, Jeffrey Dahmer murdered that boy. Conorak synthesome phone.
So the police saw a boy bleeding, and they said, it's good, it's alright. Man, get out of here, man. Get out of here, man. Get out of here.
This man says he had a near-fatal encounter with Jeffrey
He got a
Dahmer.
hat
He
on.
wanted to take some picture of my back. He hit me with a rubber hammer on my neck.
He was lucky to escape because by then the killing had become almost routine. Before you went out to pick...
So they had a guy who escaped. He just wanted to have an interview. He said, "Yo, I escaped, man. I need to talk about it. Get the fuck out of here." And he didn't want to show his face. Why? Because he's a fake. He could show his face. Jeffrey Dahmer locked up. He can't get you. Because it's bullshit. Bullshit. And of course he died in jail. He got killed. He's a crisis actor. He probably still alive right now. I don't know what the fuck they got him doing. He's alive right now.
Up a man.
His name ain't Jeffrey Dahmer. That's a fake name. So
Was
the
there
guy
any
who
kind
played this is still alive. Okay?
of ritual you went through?
I go to the nightclubs, drink, watch the striptease shows, and if I didn't meet anyone at the bars, I'd go to the bath clubs and meet someone there, offer them money, and we'd go back to the apartment, have a few drinks. I'd have the sleeping pill mixture already prepared. Person would drink it, fall asleep, and that's when they would be strangled.
Oh shit. They got a commercial to fix. Alright, man, I'm out of here. Alright, it's all bullshit.